Just 10 kilometers from where I live, in the heart of Nairobi, lies Mathare.
The second largest informal settlement in Kenya is home to 500,000 people.
From above, it is a valley of sprawling shacks crammed between unmarked dirt roads and brown rivers.
But walk its paths, and Mathare transforms into a network of interconnected individuals, defying the constraints of hardship.
A community of problem solvers, innovators, and pioneers.
A testament to human resilience.
I am a climate and a slum champion.
I am a change maker. I'm a businesswoman.
I'm a youth activist. I'm a storyteller.
I'm an educator.
I am our future.
I am Zero.
And together we are fueling sustainable futures.
Urban informal settlements around the world share a common problem. Improper solid waste disposal threatens the health of their inhabitants and the surrounding environment.
In Nairobi, waste management is a privatized industry afforded only by the wealthy. The residents of Mathare are left to fend for themselves and resort to throwing their waste in the river or burning it in the streets.
To make matters worse, waste also pours in from the rest of the city. Every day, over 500,000 black bin bags of waste are dumped on the outskirts of slums like Mathare, contaminating the air, water, and soil.
These dump sites are the breeding grounds for diseases, yet also the playgrounds for local children. Uncontrolled burning may eliminate the waste, but it releases hazardous fumes. This further threatens a community already struggling with high unemployment and food insecurity.
Here in Utrecht, waste management is seen as a right, but for the people of Mathare, it is a luxury they cannot afford.
I'm a youth from Mathare slums. I can say that living in Mathare is one of the most difficult things as a youth, because my community was very dirty. So we saw a need of forming a youth group that will be able to clear out the waste from the community.
Back then when we started the cleanup exercise, we didn't have a better way of disposing our waste. So we used to dump them in the rivers and in the dumping site, which was still not good to our community because we were creating problems on top of problems.
We quickly identified that young people in the community already had the drive and the passion to tackle the waste crisis, but they lacked the infrastructure and the support to do so.
This is why we created Taka Zero. Our impact enterprise transforms waste from a problem into a solution. This enables us to clean up the environment while simultaneously resolving health issues, tackling unemployment, and providing education on proper waste management.
So in a nutshell, Taka Zero takes waste off the streets and incinerates it to generate energy. We do this by using a Kenyan technology known as the community cooker. This is a large outdoor stove that incinerates solid waste at 800 to 1,200 degrees Celsius.
This innovative technology generates energy at a combustion efficiency of 85%, hence only producing safe, white gas composed of CO2.
Now, this might seem counterintuitive, but this waste would normally go to a landfill and then emit methane. Methane is 80 times worse than CO2. So over a year of using the cooker, we've saved the equivalent of 97 tons of CO2 from entering the atmosphere, the same as driving a car around the world 4 times.
We currently operate one particular community cooker at MCO school, which fell into disrepair after running for only 2 months back in 2015. Unlike previous attempts to use the cooker, we harness the power of this innovative technology through a sustainable business model that empowers young changemakers.
First, we teach our young changemakers to collect, sort, bundle, and incinerate waste safely, hence removing waste from the environment in a responsible manner.
Secondly, we recognize that in order to create a lasting sustainable impact in the community, we needed a viable financial model. Bread was an obvious choice as it's easy and affordable to produce. So we employ our young trainees to run a bread baking business using the cooker's energy.
And to differentiate ourselves in the dynamic market of Mathare slum and to expand our customer base, we specialize in high-quality bread at a low price. Since April, we have doubled our sales to sell 160 breads per week. And over the past 10 months, we have seen a revenue increase of over 600%.
Up until recently, the profit generated by our bread covered nearly 50% of our operational costs. But in July, we responded to the needs of our employees and increased their wages by 50% in line with the cost of living crisis. To remain financially viable, we diversified our funding streams and have recently invested in a second bread oven, which will double our bread baking capacity.
Our bread baking business allows us to empower 30 young people with both a competitive wage and employability skills to support their future. In turn, they take the initiative to run workshops on safe waste management for the students of MCO school. Our young changemakers are the role models for the next generation within Mathare, and they have kick-started a movement that is inspiring both young and old.
So, as you sit here right now, Felix and 2 of our youths will have just finished collecting 85 kilos of waste from over 200 local families, 3 local schools, and our neighboring NGO Shofco. By 2 p.m., they will have baked and sold 60 breads to the community. When accumulated over the past 240 days, this equates to
20 tons of waste taken off the streets,
97 tons of CO2 saved from entering the atmosphere,
3,230 breads baked and sold,
and a total of 2,000 people impacted.
Beyond the numbers, Taka Taka Zero is driving attitudinal and behavioural change in the community. Local families are bringing their waste directly to us rather than dumping it in the river or in the landfill. We're proud to say that our employees have been so efficient in their waste collection that there's now a shortage of dump sites in the area.
But we recognize that none of this would have been possible without our young changemakers. Over time, they have gained so much more than just waste management skills. Today, they are the authors of their own destiny and have achieved the true entrepreneurial goal by putting into practice the skills and confidence gained from the project. We are thrilled to say that part of our team have pooled their wages to set up their own independent enterprise, a barbershop within their community.
It has also improved my self-esteem. I'm an effective communicator, communicating to my customers without fear and even negotiating well with them.
They gave me also the opportunity to go back to school because after employing me to do the work of the recycling and also baking of breads, I'm able now to go to school. So I studied at Zitec University because the money they pay me, I usually pay it to my school fees. We are most grateful because without them, we really don't know where I would have been today. This was our dumping site back then. So we used to dump our garbages here, but when the Taka Taka Zero came, we got a better solution to our waste. It used to be so dirty that no one even can stand from here, but now it's something else.
We need to start teaching our kids at this early stage the proper way of disposing the waste. And with that, we will be having what we call maybe permanent solution. We've also managed to tell our learners on how they can manage waste. And now it is the best thing that has happened to them. You will just find that a kid may come to me and tell me, teacher, today I've brought the solid waste and it is in the solid rack there, you know.
These stories are only the beginning of our potential impact. We plan to transition the catering at MCO school to the community cooker, so they will no longer have to pay for environmentally harmful wood fuel. This will reduce their costs by €260 every single term. For a school which regularly struggles to provide even a single meal for their pupils, these savings will allow for 50 more kids to be fed in a day.
Hence, Taka Taka Zero is the blueprint for a scalable waste management solution for low-income areas.
Over the next 5 years, we will use our seed funding of €35,000 to repair 5 more cookers throughout Nairobi. By 2028, we will have trained and employed 150 youths from over 6 different youth groups, saved 2,000 tons of CO2 from entering the atmosphere, and removed 400 tons of waste from landfill. With 6 operating cookers, we will impact 10,000 individuals across the city.
So now, just 10 kilometers from where I live in Nairobi, I see a movement that is instilling hope and inspiring behavioral change.
We are more than an Enactus project. We are an impact enterprise that empowers communities to use their own resources to create collective prosperity.
A green energy transition that is relevant to all young people around the world, striving to make a measurable difference for people and the planet.
We go far beyond Nairobi. We are the green scalable solution for low-income areas around the world.
We are Taka Taka Zero,
and we are fueling sustainable futures.
We will now begin the question and answer session. Only judges may ask questions. Judges, please raise your hand if you wish to ask a question. Kindly wait for someone to hand you a microphone, and then before asking your question, state your name and organization.
Hello, my name is Azamat. I'm from Kyrgyzstan. And what about filters on these ovens? Because when you're burning a plastic, we should take a very aggressive PM 2.5 smoke pieces. And this is a problem.
Yes, so the cooker does have a filter at the top of the flume, and it meets international standards for waste emissions for both the UK, America, and Kenya. So all of those extra particles don't get released into the atmosphere.
And PM 2.5 pieces in normal after these ovens?
Sorry, could you explain your question?
When you're burning a plastic,
Yeah.
We take a PM, you know these pieces of smoke? PM 2.0 or 2.5.
Yes, so the PM emission is minimal. The invention is a pre-existing invention made by the Community Cooker Foundation. It has been recognized internationally by UNEP as one of the best ways to help tackle waste management within low-income areas. The cooker actually incinerates only non-recyclable waste. So we have crisp packets, we have non-recyclable plastics. And so the emission rates are extremely low because it meets all of the international recognized standards.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Inoshka from Repurposed Coffee. I have a question on, have you done any testing on the bread to know if it has any substance of chemical in it?
So the way that the cooker works is that the incineration happens in a chamber that is completely separate from the baking. So we have, there's an incineration chamber, as you can see, and on the top of that, which is completely separate, there's the oven. So there's physically no way that any of the smoke could enter the oven or the breads.
Okay, so just to make clear, you haven't done any testing on the bread?
No, but because it's a hot plate and then a bread oven is placed on top of the hot plate, there is no direct contact between any material being incinerated and the actual oven which is heated, where the bread is.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. Well done, UK. I'm Jack from South Africa. My question is, so in my understanding, you're building the incinerator yourself. How many of those do you have, and how much does it cost you to build one?
Okay, so building a cooker from scratch costs about 17,000 euros. However, there are many cookers in Kenya that have fallen into disrepair. There are around 16 or 17 scattered all around the country, predominantly within low-income areas of Nairobi, Mombasa, and Malindi, which are the main areas. Essentially, it costs much less to refurbish a cooker, which is what we did in this case, around 3,500 euros. Our aim is to refurbish cookers rather than building new ones because they have the existing infrastructure in place. This will allow us to use the 35,000 euros that we have already gained from the Ford Family Foundation, and we'll be able to split it between five refurbished cookers.
Thank you.
Veerle from Young Impact. Thank you guys so much for the presentation and the lovely story that you wrapped it in. I'm wondering, you talked about diversifying income or funding streams to make the project profitable in the future, because right now you're covering about 50% of the cost. What are your concrete plans and steps to do this?
So we already have, like we just said, gained 35,000 euros from the Ford Family Foundation. So that's the seed funding we are using right now that is helping us to cover our costs and also expand. So we're looking into more funding and sponsorship that we can then invest until we're able to reach 100% financial sustainability through our bread baking business.
I have two questions. You said that the social enterprise is community-led. Who have the ownership of the social enterprise? And the second one, what do you do with the revenue that you have? Like, I know the net income. Do you reinvert it on the company, or what do you do with it?